second episode of The Real Show. I'm your host, Del Go, and we are just a bunch of movie fans who can't stop talking about movies, and we want to include you in our conversation. Today, we are going to do, for this episode, roundup of the biggest movie news from Hollywood from the past 1 week. And I want to introduce to you, first of all, our resident realist, Amir. Don't look so awkward. And then our special guest for this week as well, Mr. Rano Iskandar.
Hello.
Thanks for being on the show. So, right now, for the last few days, the biggest movie news was Avengers trailer. What happened was that Marvel initially wanted to drop this trailer with next week's episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in order to pull in more viewers for the struggling TV series. But some idiot leaked it out on the internet and then it went viral. So what Marvel did best was that they took control back from this fiasco.
Yeah.
They tweeted out saying, "Damn it, Hydra!" And then they released the HD version of the trailer, and then they owned it back. And that's what's great about their marketing campaign, their marketing team, and also the bosses in Marvel. They didn't say, "Okay, let's find some lawyers and find out who leaked this out," but they just took ownership of what happened and then took the trailer back as theirs. So, what did you were the first one, Amir, to found the trailer.
Yeah.
And what did you think when you first saw it? Because you were the one who posted up on our Instagram.
Yeah.
The Real Show.
Yeah. Alright. The whole thing was pretty funny. The fact that it leaked and everyone caught up on it so fast. So I think the fact that picked up more hype than the actual trailer itself for people in the comic book movies, right? But I saw the trailer and I saw it in its leaked format, and
Right.
I was trying to dissect everything at first, and then it looked good. I mean, like what?
It looked awesome.
Yeah, what trailer does not look good from Marvel, right? But as expected, it gave every fanboy what they wanted.
Yep.
I mean, it gave them the whole Hulkbuster.
Yep.
They gave them the insight on the twins and pretty much everything that everyone was predicting, and it came out true. But the mystery is still there, and I think people are just a bit too far-fetched with their predictions now, and especially because of all this, all this crazy news about Marvel throwing this and that, and this whole competition in comic book movies. So
Yeah.
I like it. I liked it.
What about Ronald? What were your initial thoughts?
My initial thought was in the beginning when I found out, I think it was yesterday,
Yeah.
and people were telling me, "Have you seen the Avengers trailer?" I mean, I was a bit behind. So what I did was I Googled and I went on YouTube and I saw a wrong trailer. Apparently, people have been making a lot of
Fan-made one.
fan-made ones, and I was telling myself, okay, this is a compilation of their own movies, and they pile it up together to make it into a trailer. And I was like, nah, this doesn't make sense. Then I asked my friend to actually send me, because there was, I think during that time, they actually took down the trailer and it wasn't available on YouTube for
The leaked ones.
I'm not sure. I didn't know where to get the leaked one.
Oh yeah.
So until it came out on YouTube, the official one, I don't know which one, but and then I managed to catch it and said, wow, okay, this looks legit.
Looks
Looks
legit.
legit. And the funny thing is, I remember when it comes to some of blockbuster movies, because we are maybe 8 months away. Is it 9 months away?
Well, it's coming out in May.
Okay, 8 months away.
Yeah.
Normally 8 months away, they will only give a teaser.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah, I was a bit
Like
surprised
1
they actually
minute.
gave it too much. They could have given, like, when Man of Steel, Man of Steel.
I would disagree that it's too much. I would have liked another 45 minutes of the trailer.
No. What I mean is, like, you want to tease.
Yeah.
audience.
But they actually did give the teaser a while back already. It's just that people didn't pick up on it. And also, this trailer was the one that they showed at Comic-Con previously.
Is it the same one?
It's the exact same one that they showed
Really?
at Comic-Con. The teaser was the one that they introduced. It was like a slow montage of
Yeah,
Iron Man,
Iron Man.
and then it changed into Ultron. So that was already the
Oh,
teaser,
right, yeah.
but people were just like, that's not important because who's Ultron, right? They won't know who's Ultron.
Yep.
So this one, they just gave whatever the fanboys
Yep.
wanted, but this was pretty much old news to
No.
whoever didn't go to Comic Con.
Do you think they went too dark with this trailer? Because as we know, Avengers and Marvel, all their properties have been very, over the top,
Yeah.
funny, of course, very big on action. But this trailer, it looks like it's going very dark, like Empire Strikes Back. You know, the second one of the trilogy. Do you think that they went too dark?
That's the kind of thing, you see, because I think people are benchmarking superhero movies too much on the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah.
So yeah, every time people think it's like, oh, they're going darker now with superheroes just because Dark Knight was really dark. No, but I think it's just the level of maturities when it comes to a superhero movie. You can't just have a funny movie and then the next one you're gonna keep it funny because your demographic is gonna change. They want something interesting. They want something to change. So I mean, to say it's going dark, that's a no-brainer. I mean, you're not gonna have Iron Man get a new suit every single movie, and that's it.
Oh, he got a new suit.
Obviously, right? But that's what people want. But how else are you gonna level it up? Throw him against the Hulk. That's it. But again, that is a no-brainer. It is pretty obvious for a movie to keep going in the direction it does, and you're gonna have some losses, especially with Joss Whedon as well.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's something that's natural in movie sense. So that's all right.
No, what about some iconic moments from the from the trailer? Sorry, like when Iron Man donned the Hulkbuster suit, I almost crapped in my pants when I saw that. What were some of the iconic shots?
I think the iconic shot for me was the last
one with Ultron.
Ultron.
I hated that, by the way.
Oh really?
I kind of like that because it shows like how, because in the trailer it shows, normally in the trailers we only see the antagonist becoming so dominant, but we didn't actually see him until the actual end. Like everyone's, because like you said, the movie is kind of dark, and we see a lot of how you say, not the positive sides of
right.
Yeah, you see a cracked shield.
And Bruce Banner sitting in the middle, wrapped in a blanket,
Thor
and
strangling
Iron Man,
Man.
Tony Stark.
Yeah, so it's like everything is not going right for them.
Yeah.
Because of this
But
guy.
of course, this doesn't mean that the movie is actually going to be that dark. Maybe it's
I
just
don't-
the first trailer.
Okay, the thing, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm sure it's still a Marvel movie. It's still gonna be over the top, funny, and all that, with a lot of banter back and forth.
And I was thinking to myself, like, okay, if they're gonna do sequels for Guardians of the Galaxy, is it gonna be darker? Is Marvel gonna take that part? Because now you see that DC is pumping up, like playing catch up, but maybe we're gonna talk about in other movie news, right? How they're gonna gel everything in.
Yeah.
And I think Marvel is trying to be further step ahead of DC.
I don't know. I don't think Marvel is being reactionary to what DC is doing.
Oh, because they've already got the lead.
They've established themselves as the one to beat.
Yeah.
And then them putting out this trailer, it's not because of what DC has just announced that whole slate, but it is because it is what they wanted to do all along.
Yeah.
What about in the trailer? What about that song, that haunting song that
the kid.
Do you know what that song is?
Did you actually listen to the lyrics?
It's about the one with the strings.
Yeah, it's the whole concept again. It's I mean, okay, not to geek out too much.
Oh,
because the fact is, Ultron is the embodiment of technology. It's been the theme ever since the character has been introduced. So the advancement of technology is supposed to instill fear because we don't have control over it. So the fact that he used that metaphor, there are no strings on me, he's relating to how the heroes are actually, they're just there for show and they're just there to please society. But what if, there was something better for society, but you can't carry it out because you're trying to keep them together. So that is what they're trying to represent with Ultron. So the whole fact that he's doing the no strings on me is how he's trying to liberate himself. Like, you created me, but you can't control me. So.
Yeah. And in the comics, correct me if I'm wrong, Ultron is supposed to be. He started off as trying to find the solution to peace. To find out how they can have peace on Earth.
Yeah.
and he came up with the solution that humans must die, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the core of his character anyway. And to add a fun fact is the biggest difference between this movie and the comic universe is that I'm pretty much assuming this, but Ultron will be created by Iron Man in this movie because who else is going to create him, right? But in the comics, he was created by Ant-Man.
Yep.
He was Hank Pym, but he's going to be introduced much later after this. So where the puzzles will come together, the pieces will come together, is still the biggest mystery, and I'm quite nitpicky about that because
You prefer it comes from the comic, right?
not exactly, but I understand how movies now they reshape the origins to best suit the characters that are already established. But at the same time, like again, when the first Avengers came out, I was nitpicking at the fact that Hawkeye and Black Widow were there because they're not Avengers, right? But at the same time, how can you fit?
Original Avengers.
Yeah, not original Avengers, but how can you put in a guy who can shrink and a lady who can shrink into a big team like that, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's just a fanboy nitpick.
Sure.
So.
Bruno, what about James Spader voicing for Ultron and that whole monologue he did? What did you have any thoughts on that? Did you like it being James Spader's voice? Putting you on the spot now. I thought that what they did with, I don't know if they did it deliberately, but it's like the transition from James Spader being more of a human voice and then slowly becoming mechanical Ultron. So that's like showing us also the evolution of Ultron. And we also saw that the evolution kind of Ultron in the trailer, where he first appeared as kind of walking very stiffly, and at the end he became the Ultron. Yeah, I thought that was very cool. Anything else that stood out for you?
I think like the music score for me.
Music score, yeah.
Music score for me, but I just felt that it's a bit premature that they actually had like almost like a full trailer.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they're gonna come out with the second and the third trailer.
They're actually doing damage control with that because initially they planned it with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So this is fresh today, is that now since the trailer's already out, so when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. next episode comes out, they're just going to add more footage that we haven't seen yet. So that's a good promise. That's good damage control for them. So it's a win for us as well. So.
And one last thing I noticed from the trailer is that maybe the storyline, I don't know if you guys caught this, but it's just my own speculation of the twins. They had one shot where the twins were standing behind Ultron, and Ultron turned around, and then the twins were there.
Yeah.
I think that is where they started off, following Ultron or Ultron controlling them, and then we saw that the Scarlet Witch on the floor in chaos, screaming, and then we know that they joined the Avengers after that. So maybe that's how the storyline is gonna be.
I don't want to come with a lot of predictions.
That's good that they're actually putting him in Ultron because true to their origins, they weren't exactly heroes to begin with.
Yeah.
And from the comic books, that's already enough to show that okay, at least they gave these two characters enough of a bad origins to follow up. So let's develop the character the same way in the comics, where they followed the villain path and then now they reform as heroes. So I guess that's a good way of doing it. Yeah. And the whole tie-ins with the characters, like these are obviously X-Men characters, so they had to pull something else somehow. So that was a good way.
And they can't use the word mutant in Marvel's Avengers. Because mutants has the rights for the word mutant and X-Men have gone to Fox.
That sucks.
These are the same characters in X-Men.
It's a bit weird that we have two different characters, right?
Two different
Quicksilvers.
Anyway, okay, we have to move on. Otherwise, I mean, we can talk on and on about Avengers, man. But because we record this segment on a Saturday morning, which means it's still Friday in Hollywood, there are new news that came out today, and one of it is that Christian Bale has been confirmed by Eric Sorkin as the next Steve Jobs in the next Steve Jobs biopic. So, what do you guys think of this news? Do you like the casting of Christian Bale?
It's a good choice. I mean, he hasn't really disappointed in his career as much. Recently, we've seen online, I think it was Empire magazine. They came up with a collage of pictures comparing Christian Bale and actual Steve Jobs in the different looks that he's had. Like so, Steve Jobs long hair and a beard, and they compared it with Christian Bale. So I thought that was a nice touch, and they actually look alike, so that's a nice touch as well.
Yeah. What about you, Reno? Thoughts?
I mentioned to you before, like, if you remember watching him at American Hustle,
Yeah.
like, his body language, his facial expression, his facial hair as well, kind of can resonate Steve Jobs. But the thing is, I'm kind of like wondering, hasn't the audience getting enough of him already?
Christian Bale?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because of Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, right.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Because they just had the movie last year. I watched
Yeah.
it this year or last year, and it was kind of disappointing. And I remember it was my first podcast review of Jobs.
Right, that's right.
I wasn't quite pleased with it. So maybe why are they doing it? Because it didn't have a good reception from the audience, and maybe they said that Steve Jobs deserves more than this.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
But it's not the first time that Hollywood is doing 2 movies of the same subject.
Yeah.
We've had that, like the one with blowing up the White House.
There's a lot
Channing
of-
Tatum and
Olympus Has Fallen and
Olympus
White
Has
House
Fallen,
Down.
White House Down. That's right. And we are also getting 2 Tarzan stories that's coming up. Yeah.
It's amazing how that character is still so timeless, yet, you know, they still want to portray this guy.
Yeah.
How much more interesting can Tarzan get, you know?
Alright, let's move on to the next news. James Wan has closed a deal with New Line Cinema and will return to direct The Conjuring 2. Shooting will begin next summer, which means the movie is taken off its 15 October 2015 release date to an unspecified date in 2016. This will give Wan time to promote the film he just finished shooting, Fast and Furious 7. Thoughts on Wan coming back to The Conjuring after he said that he's done with horror? Ronald.
Actually, and on a high note, he produced actually Annabelle. And
the thing with him producing is that Warner Brothers, which owns New Line Cinema, has secured him to be the producer for the next films, which are smaller budget and horror, science fiction, and comedy. So he's becoming the go-to guy for Warner Brothers to be the producer.
I see. I just thought that they could have just stick with The Conjuring, and they said doesn't make sense that they're going to make a sequel. Maybe because it was a big hit, or maybe because this is sort of like a respawn after what happened with Annabelle.
Oh no, they announced The Conjuring 2 quite a while back.
Yeah. And now it just made official.
Now they finally figured out that they wanted James Wan back to.
Or they wanted James Wan to come. I don't know. I could just.
No. What about you?
I think they might be kind of diluting the genre now, because there's not a lot of horror movies out there, and the ones that are a big hit is basically whatever James Wan has touched, right?
Yeah.
So like, if you think about horror, you think whatever he's done. I mean, he's done Saw, he's done Conjuring, he does Insidious.
Yeah.
And those were pretty much success on its own. So I think, I mean, Hollywood's being Hollywood. So if it makes money, of course they can do it.
It's all about the money.
It's all about the money. So that's the problem. So how much more can they stretch from The Conjuring is a big question.
Yeah.
I mean, Annabelle already, he produced it, yes, but you know, it's not even linear to the true story. So it's just a scare factor. They're just milking whatever they can from real life events and saying that's real.
But did you like The Conjuring?
Conjuring was good. I liked it.
Liked it too?
Yeah, I watched it twice.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed The Conjuring. I really enjoyed James Wan as a director ever since Saw.
Yeah.
I think for him to come back to the genre, I'm okay with it. I celebrate it because he's so good at what he does, and he's gonna bring back that signature direction. And on top of that, he may be next to direct Warner Brothers DC movie as well. That may be the direction that they're going with. So we'll see what happens. Next is news about Ray Fisher's Cyborg, who is set to appear in Batman v Superman and also both Justice League movies, and then his own standalone movie in 2020, becoming the first African American character to get his own standalone movie since Blade, Spawn, and Will Smith's Hancock.
Okay.
But this is happening in 2020. We don't know what can happen between now and then. It's still a long ways away.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about this news is that even Ray Fisher himself didn't know that DC wanted a standalone Cyborg until they released that slate
Yeah.
of movies coming up.
Desperation list.
Desperation
That's what I call
list.
it.
Yeah, they're playing catching up. So, but what do you think of this? Have they beaten Marvel to the punch by announcing that they're gonna have the black superhero and also Wonder Woman, the first female superhero in this new generation of superhero movies? Amir, what do you think?
Oh well, I don't wanna like trample too much on DC because of course I'm a Marvel fan. But
Are you now?
Yeah. So by right, DC does have its strengths. I mean, they could have done it a long time ago. It's just that they were writing too much on their classics. I mean, the classic Supermans were already good on its own. But I think now what they're doing is, again, it's a desperate call. They see Marvel's success as a running train that they just can't stop, and they try it with Man of Steel and see how horrible that dropped. And they're just like, all right.
It wasn't that horrible.
Yeah, but
yeah, they still make.
They still made money.
But and also it wasn't as bad as, I don't know. I wouldn't use the word horrible.
Yeah.
Superman Returns, like it was.
Yeah, exactly. And those weren't really. It didn't really pick up, even though it's Superman.
Yeah.
And how much more desperate can you actually call them out for by throwing Batman with Superman to make it a success, because Batman's already made so much money.
That's right.
So if you think about it, why are they throwing everyone into this pitch so that people go, hey, I'm a fan of that hero, I'll watch this movie.
Yeah.
For all you know, it could be a 47 Ronin, one cameo, done.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the guy's on the poster, but you're not going to see much time of him or even do justice to him.
Just
So-
like what is that? The Dinobots when it appeared on Plus.
Exactly.
Everyone's looking for it, and
Yeah.
suddenly it was just like what?
Yeah.
You're only showing like 1/3, or
Exactly.
1/4 of the movie, and
Yeah.
With no dialogue.
yeah, with no.
No
dialogue. It's just a
Well,
roar.
Me, Bruno.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're not giving, they're giving the fans what they want with the hype. They're just name dropping. But when it comes to the actual thing,
That's right.
you're gonna be so
Hopefully we will see better from
Hopefully.
DC.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see the Justice League as well, because
Mm.
you know it'll be good.
Rano, I know you're not that big of a comic book fan. Do you even know who Cyborg is?
Yeah, I know Cyborg.
Okay.
But he's not sort of a prominent character,
Mhm.
and I know how DC is going with this. They're trying to find like how Marvel did with Spider-Man. Like they always get all these popular nemesis, then suddenly they come out with the Lizard. I know the Lizard, like almost all the fanboys will actually like, yeah, Lizard, but then again, we were known to other characters like the Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Venom. So now they're going. I feel that the Lizard of Marvel is compared with Cyborg
Oh, okay.
in a way, because Lex Luthor has always been, the most prominent character, and
But Cyborg is a hero, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
what I mean is like in terms of the
Popularity.
Yeah,
Popularity.
it's like a novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, well, I just read up on Ray Fisher, like this suddenly he's getting like, he's not like, I don't know, for me, like he's not like a well known,
Yeah. Yeah.
and suddenly they putting pressure on him, and he's even casted for Star Wars, right?
No.
Isn't he?
Ray Fisher? Star Wars?
No.
No, it's another guy, I think.
Yeah.
He's a British guy. Ray
Is it?
Fisher
Yeah,
is-
he was in Attack the Block.
Attack the Block.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
Attack the
yeah,
Block.
he's
yeah.
one of the
Yeah.
the lead kids.
But yeah, is Ray Fisher? Is Cyborg even an original Justice League?
No,
he's not right.
He's not in the league.
Yeah,
Only
he's not in the league.
they only introduced him like because of the New 52,
The
which
New
was
52.
the revamp.
Yeah.
Because that was it. But he's not even in the real lineup, and they're just forcing it down. And it's also to play with the race of
Yeah.
the racial card.
Of
you know?
course,
because
of course. That's
Marvel,
But
Marvel
I
already
don't
did
get
it.
I don't
Yeah.
get why are they introducing? They could have introduced the guy like, was it
Hawkman.
the Hawkman,
Yeah, I was hoping for Hawkman, but then
Hawkman.
I don't know how silly it will look in the mask and the wings.
Exactly. Who
Was
would
it
buy
Dr. Martian?
The Martian Manhunter.
That's even
Martian
more
Manhunter.
ridiculous.
That's even
I'm gonna hire an alien to
Yeah.
defend our world. That's like a question mark. Yeah.
All right, let's look at what's next. And the last piece of news, I was struggling with myself whether to put it in or not, because It's about My Little Pony. I don't know if any of us know about
Okay, do you remember? Do you remember how it goes? Do you remember how it goes? No?
I have no idea how it goes because I've never watched it, but
And I don't know why you actually include this.
because
It's legit, no, it's legit. There are some points I remember.
wait. But Hasbro has greenlit My Little Pony as an animated film, producing and financing it in-house. My Little Pony comes on the heels of Hasbro's Gem and the Hologram, which Universal Pictures has set to release it on 23rd October 2015. My Little Pony is set to be released in 2017. Now, why is Hasbro doing this? I mean, they've got G.I. Joe, they've got Transformers, and then they're doing the Gem and the Hologram, and then My Little Pony. Okay, it kind of makes sense. They're gonna make a lot of money selling the toys.
Yeah, I think it's more on the toys rather than.
Yeah. So I don't know. Was My Little Pony big back then or
It's
now?
big now, I
It's
think.
now?
With everyone
Right.
calling
I think
themselves
back then it
bronies.
was Rainbow Bright.
Rainbow Bright.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is. But
But I gotta say that I think it was back in the 80s they did come up with a movie, and that was before they introduced the characters like they're high on something, but they were genuine individual ponies with the characters, and they had like a dark villain and everything.
Oh,
And
really?
that was a legitimate movie. I recall watching it.
sure.
But, yeah.
Sure.
But you know, it's I guess that's what
called downloading it.
Yeah. Downloading it. And then it was a part of it. So, but yeah, again, it's money making. You know,
Yeah.
they just want more money for their toys.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
G.I. Joe, but
yeah.
that was a flop.
Yeah. But then the toys these days, like going off on a tangent, toys these days are not as good as what we had in the
Obviously.
80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Because I think we had the toys were made of steel or
Whoa,
metal.
what kind of plays you been playing?
No, come on, I thought that's lead. Was it lead? Because they kind of banned that because it's bad for the health. Yeah.
Things have
So
changed.
now the action figures are not as great as what it
True.
used to be.
I think the association as well. When you get a toy, like imagine when Star Wars first came out, and then they came out with the individual toys. There was more of a connection that you had with it rather than now where they do a character, but it's not up to on par with it, no matter how good the quality is, you know.
Yep.
So I don't think the association with the character that you see on screen with the figure is as strong as it was before.
Yeah.
So, but that's my 2 cents on it.
Alright, that will do it for this episode of the real show.
Almost said the wrong.
So used to hearing the popcorn panel. But anyway, I want to thank the people on the panel today. We've got our special guest, Rano. Rano, where can people find you online?
They can find me on my Twitter and Instagram handle at Rano Adidas, and they can check out my blog at Rano360. And of course, you can check my movie reviews on SoundCloud/The Popcorn Panel.
And also we have our resident realist, Amir. Amir, where can people find you online?
I'm a private man.
He's a private man.
But you can catch it on the real show. I'll be updating there, and you can see my fanboy.
Yeah.
moments.
And we've also got our Facebook page and our YouTube page. We would love to hear from you, what your thoughts are, feedback, and how we can improve the show better. So send us some messages and click subscribe on our YouTube page and our Facebook page as well. And you can find me at Belgo on all these social media channels. Until DC comes up with better marketing campaign, make mine Marvel. See you next time.